For those that don't know, my name is Brian Carroll. I live in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a McGill Method certified provider, having power lifted for over 21 years and ending on a high note of being the first person to squat over 1,300 pounds. I now work with people all over the world from both a virtual standpoint and in person here in Jacksonville, Florida, with injury, resilience, and performance enhancement. I'm not giving you medical advice. For more information, go to poweractstrength.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy this video. Secret to injury prevention. What are the secrets? In this video, I'm going to tell you the secrets to injury prevention, and they're probably not what you think. The secret to injury prevention is getting very, very lucky, number one. That's the secret to injury prevention, is getting lucky. You see people do dumb stuff, break their form, train heavy 3 times a week, and all they do is get stronger. There's a lot of people out there that I can name that seem like they can do that. Some that I trained with for years, and you just look at their training and you're just like, how is this person not destroyed? There's one person in particular, I'm not going to name, that never had an injury hardly ever the whole time I trained with them. Then eventually the dumb choices, the dumb approaches, the lazy approaches cost him a very serious injury, and that made up for all the times he didn't have tweaks or whatever, and it pretty much ended his lifting career. Back to the topic. The secret to injury prevention, number one, getting lucky. Okay? Genetics. Genetics play a big part in injury prevention. Some people look at a barbell and get hurt. Other people can deadlift 3 times a week seemingly and never get hurt. Genetics play a big part. Let me give you an example. With the spine in particular, each person has unique room in their spinal canal. Some people have really big or long pedicles. Pedicles are the struts on the vertebra that are on the side. It's the strongest part of the vertebra. So if they get a disc bulge or have some facet hypertrophy growing from the posterior aspect of the canal, a disc bulge growing from the anterior aspect, they're not going to get choked off as quick as someone with short pedicles, tiny little canal, and then next thing you know, just a little bit of degenerative changes of the facets, a little bit of losing height in the disc, and then a bulge, and next thing you know, they're getting stenosis and pain down the legs and all kinds of different things when they've hardly done anything. Then you see the next person that has this huge canal and they can get away with murder, it seems like. It's not fair, but genetics play a huge part along with luck. Looking for the answer to your sleepless nights, sore muscles, and better overall well-being? If so, PowerAct Strength CBD has you covered. All of our products are made of CBD isolate and have 0% THC. Meaning there are no worries of failing a drug test or the worry of feeling high. With PowerAct Strength CBD, we offer a wide range of products and payment options to ensure you have the option that best fits your needs. Don't just take it from me. All of our reviews and client testimonials on our site speak for themselves. You can even get 20% off your order by using code YT1306 at checkout. Go to poweractstrengthcbd.com to order now so you can get back to sleeping, recovering, lifting, feeling, and being better. We've talked about the genetic freaks out there. We talk about getting lucky, but deloading and backing off before you're absolutely forced to back off is the variable that you can control. And I see people when they don't do it, how it costs them in the long term, and people that do it, they can seemingly train sustainably a lot longer. Doesn't mean they won't get unlucky or they have poor genetics or good genetics, but it's determining your outcome by controlling your variables at least as much as you can. So what is a deload? In 1020 Life, I talk about a deload. Deloading every 3 to 4 weeks, backing off the volume, intensity, and frequency for that week, letting your bones heal. Bones recover a lot slower than muscle. Muscle, bodybuilding, you can pump up and do those things significantly. When you're talking about a squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, all these compound joint movements load the bones, in particular the vertebra and the end plates and the disc and the facets and all the fine anatomy of the spine. Backing off every 3 to 4 weeks can be very helpful in letting your end plates heal, especially if you're loading into a lot of compression with squats and deadlifts. Let those end plates heal, let them stiffen up, let them recover. End plates and bone for that matter, we talk about this in Gift of Injury, but they attract ions and minerals. As you create a charge by loading bone, It creates a scaffold by filling in the damaged bone and the end plates, and it creates a new layer of bone, which will be stronger if you give yourself enough time to let it scaffold and don't let it cascade, so the micro trauma doesn't become macro trauma. This is handy when you deload every 3 to 4 weeks and let the bone heal, let the muscles heal, let the ligaments heal, let the tendons heal, and then ramp it back up. So deloading is simply backing off to about 50%, slowing down your intensity, your frequency, and your volume, and giving yourself a reprieve, working on form, dialing in form, your squat form, your deadlift form, whatever it may be, working on weak points. That's what a deload is. Why? Because this is one of the biggest things that I see when people have deloads in their training. They're more likely to have more long-term success. Those that blow off deloads are people that usually come back to me 3 or 4 years later and say, you know what? I was a young, dumb person and I thought I didn't need deloads. Now I do. Will you program for me? Will you help me get out of back pain? Will you build a prescription for me? You don't have to deload every 3 to 4 weeks. And if you don't, your body's going to explode or fall apart. But you mind the biology and you give it the tools, you stimulate, and then you back off. You stimulate, you let the bones scaffold over, you let the bones heal, and then you push again, and you pick the times where you push to 100%. That is the secret. That's the secret to injury prevention. Not going heavy all the time. In 1020 Life, the lion's share of the work is under 85%. It's 85% and under, especially in the off season. I don't advise you going heavy, man. Build the volume up, build the frequency up a little bit. Save the intensity for when it matters. I don't suggest going over 85% a whole lot unless you're peaking for the last 5 weeks for a competition. This is another secret of injury prevention, not training heavy too much. You don't need to max out in the gym all the time. You don't need to lift the weight in the gym to be able to lift the weight at the meet. Let me give you an example. My best squat ever done prior to the 2006 WPO semifinals and WPC Worlds was 1,000 pounds in the gym. I cut 30 pounds, 250 to 220, broke the all-time world record at 220 with 1,030 with a 30-pound PR that day. My next all-time world record, that was number 1 in 06, number 2 in 2011, my best squat in the gym ever was 1130. At the meet at 275, after cutting weight, I squatted 1185 for the all-time world record at 275. And yet the third decade of me competing, the first one was in 06, so the 2000s. The next one was 2011, so the 2010s. The third and final couple all-time world records that I hit in 2020, which is the 2020s, third decade. My best squat ever in the gym was 1205 and I squatted 1306. 101 pounds more than my best gym lift. How did I do this? I saved it for meet day and I peaked appropriately like I talk about in 1020 Life. You do not have to lift the weight in the gym to peak appropriately and be able to go and do it at the meet. We have secrets to this. Using reverse bands, overtraining a little bit and then backing off and peaking. Overtraining and stimulating a little bit of fatigue will sometimes help you hypercompensate on meet day, but it isn't done with a ton of intensity and volume. You have to pick and choose your volume days, your intensity days, and of course, your deload days. I had 2 weeks where I did very little going into the competition. I didn't squat for 2 weeks. I did a little bit of quad pumping, core work, walking daily, and I went into the meet mentally and physically fresh. The next thing people aren't going to tell you about injury prevention, besides taking deloads, besides taking time off, backing off. When you're at a certain strength level, you don't have to train heavy all the time. You don't need a long time to get ready for the meet. So monitoring your intensity, your frequency, and your volume are game changers. Having your deloads in, not training heavy all the time, having an off season, building weak points, building a core of iron. These are all things I talk about in 1020 Life. And it helps you become your own coach, build your own program, diagnose your weak points, your sticking points in your squat, your bench, and your deadlift, and then selecting your weak points to eliminate. Selecting your assistance work to eliminate those weak points. I've had people equipped, total 2,700 plus that I've worked with, 2,600 plus, 2,500 plus people on the website that you've seen testimonials, multiple people total in the 2,000s that have used 1020 Life, that I've coached, that Bird's coached, other people out there. The deloads work. Specialized assistance work. Having phases of training works. Besides picking your parents and having a little bit of luck, controlling your variables is the way to prevent injury the most possible and tangible way. And I've learned it. I've lived it for 21 years. And trust me, I was a young and dumb guy that just didn't want to deload and wanted to train heavy all the time until I started getting beat up and realized that, man, my shoulders are worn out. Man, my back hurts. Man, my knees hurt. Man, my hips hurt. Shut it down, play the long game, and stop watching Instagram.
Hope you enjoyed today's video. Remember, like, subscribe, share, click the notifications because we drop videos twice a week. We also have a live stream every Friday where I answer your questions. Click below to see the latest video that we uploaded. Also, for our products, our CBD, our books that correspond with these videos, it's down in the description. For more information about all things Brian Carroll and Power Rack Strength, go to powerrackstrength.com. You can book a consult both virtually and in person with me. Enjoy your week, and thank you so much.